Oh, yeah?
I'm talking on my left here on your right stereo channel. I don't know which stereo channel. Dave Davies, who is Dave Davies of Dave Davies, and Dave Davies of the Kinks. And here as Dave Davies of Dave Davies. Although Dave Davies of the Kinks, you know, is a similar guy, and they're very good friends, the two of them. There is a schizoid thing in there.
I'm glad you know what you're talking about, because I don't.
I know. I don't have a translate. How's my accent sound to you?
Americanish.
Americanish? You better believe it, boy. You better believe it. This, glamour.
Don't you think I look very glamorous?
You do. Fantastic. That's quite a look here.
Isn't it true I don't really look like that?
It's not.
Don't say anything.
No, you do look like that, but it's not you, so to speak. But it's an album cover, and it has a great deal of style and panache, and also some awfully good tunes. By the way, I enjoyed it very much.
Oh, that's good.
You went and did one. You did the Stevie Winwood thing that he did too, and that is play each instrument himself. Oh. Sorry. Should I not mention any other names? I wasn't making any comparisons. I rather like him and Gwen.
Yeah, he's great.
What happened? You just said you had actually made some cuts with a rhythm section and decided to scrap it?
No, I've always sort of dabbled with the bass and various instruments. You know, I thought it might be nice to do them all, you know.
What I don't understand is how could you run so fast as to put down the bass, to pick up the rhythm guitar or the lead guitar?
It's funny because I virtually did that. I moved the drum on the first album I made. Yeah. I even played the drums as well. That
was AFLI 3603.
Ah, you thought you remembered it. That's good.
No, I have it written down here. But it is one of the cleverest names for an album I ever heard. That happened to be the stock number at the record company, which was, Ossie?
Yeah, it was a very sort of low-budget album.
Hey, you got a low-budget audience here. They're clapping for low budget. We're all low budget. What do you mean by that?
No, it's a joke. No, I thought it was good, like, you know, I don't know if you saw the cover, but it was like the head was replaced with barcoding, which you tend to use a lot over here.
Yes, here it is.
And I thought it'd be great that after 13 years...
That's the, you know those little lines on the supermarket that the computers are supposed to pick up eventually, right? So you say, how much was that? That was 3 thick lines in a row, 4 narrows, 3 thicks, 4 narrows, 4 medium thicks, 3 narrows, and 4 six. 39 cents! You know, it's a way of complicating the job so people can make more money. But you have one of those.
Yeah, I thought it was funny, you know, waiting so long to make a record. I think that's kind of funny.
Hey, why don't you be in the movies? You really are a good-looking guy.
I know I am. Don't sit so close to me.
Hey, I'm not saying that from any kind of sexual thing. A guy can say to another guy, you're a good-looking guy.
Can you take your hand off my knee?
Oh. Ladies and gentlemen listening on the radio. Hands on myself. Hey, one for the Road album of Kinks. There's a videotape, we understand?
Yeah, that's right.
Explain that. This is a kind of revolutionary new thing. So tell us.
Yeah, it's we did a gig in, where was it? Providence, upstate.
Mm-hmm.
And, is it?
No, it's up country a little.
Up country.
Hey, come on, the guy's from another land. What if he said Manchester and you said, oh, what do you mean, Pennsylvania? You know. Rhode Island is the smallest of our states. In fact, it's very difficult. You're driving in Rhode Island, you put out your hand to make a left turn, you're in Massachusetts. I mean, it's a very small state, and it's claustrophobic there. But once in a while, the people pop into Connecticut so they can breathe a little, and it's a nice place, though. There's some I-95 renegades from one of our affiliates in Connecticut. Tell us about the videotape. You did a thing in Providence, Rhode Island.
It's virtually the same songs that we did on the live album, which was out last year.
Yeah. And, is it in any way enhanced or fooled with creatively, or is it simply, is it not simply, but is it the concert straight off?
It's a rock and roll concert.
It's a live concert.
Kinks doing a rock and roll gig. And like a few shots backstage of us being silly, probably sillier than we are now.
Well, how many times can you do it and how many variations, you know?
But I mean, it's a good... speak for yourself, sweetie.
This is really a filthy crowd. If they can take that as a double entendre, how could they possibly... I'm saying, how many ways can you take publicity pictures? That's what I mean. So you're a big boy now, so you don't trash Rolls Royces or anything like that on the road or steal the Holiday Inn towels. It's like you guys are classics, like the Modern Jazz Quartet, you know, were at the end of the...
Modern Jazz Quartet?
I mean, you know...
You're 50s. How old are you? You're older than me.
Well, you were a rock and roll star when you're 16. I'm 39 now.
39, yeah, you're quite a lot older than me.
Yeah.
So I suppose, was that your...
Well, the Modern Jazz Quartet were a good outfit. You ever hear them play?
Yeah.
You know, I love rock and roll, too. And I'm saying that the Kinks is sort of like... It's such respect. It's elder statesmen have looked to, imitated.
Elder statesmen.
You know, people, a lot of Van Halen and others are doing Kinks tunes, and, you know, how does that make you feel, you old cocker? This guy is just 19, and he's a senior statesman.
I think it's really good that other people listen to our music and get impressed by it. I think it's good. I mean, it's nice. You know, there's so many bands and people that have played versions of our songs over the years. I mean, it's flattering, yeah, even if they're not as good as the original, some of them. But some of them are really good. I think it's very flattering. I think it's great.
Last year, the venues got bigger, I would say, for the Kinks. Huh?
Yeah,
used to be big theaters, and now it's after a lot of years.
Yeah. We've been touring of the States for a long time, on and off. And, they're bigger gigs. I don't necessarily think they're better, because they're so big that you can't always... You know, I like to play like 5,000 or 6,000 seaters, because, like, you can hear all the noise without all the echo.
Right.
And, like, it's fairly intimate without being too intimate, if you know what I mean.
This guy has got sex on his mind. I mean, the guy is a kink. I can't believe a kink. Kink could have anything he wants. I wish I were a kink.
And I mean, it's good to play big halls, like, you know, LA forums and all that. But, But it's a lot of people, isn't it?
Is money sort of really a secondary thing at this point?
Oh, sure. No.
Can I have 500 pounds, please? And it all started when your mom and dad bought you a 40-pound guitar, right?
You've done a bit of research, haven't you?
Yeah.
That's not true, though.
I couldn't understand how you could lift it. Wap, wap, wah. No, 40-pound money.
No, in England we have a trombone.
Why isn't it true? For Benny Hill. Hey, got a belt. Hey, want to see my Benny Hill? He's pretty funny, actually.
Anyway.
What I was asking you, why is that story not true?
It is true.
It is true. Yeah.
It's a slip of the tongue. So.
That's how it all started, folks. And you, aspirant to Kinks. There is a kink guitar camp, isn't there, that you're putting in? Like the professional athletes, Dave goes to the School of Guitar as a Kinks in Training, a KIT. And soon coming is Kink Mania, where they get guys that look like you, right? What kind of things do you like to do? Never mind things, but is there something you like to do, particular books you like to read, or music you like to listen to, or
not
traveling or something? When you're not being a kink, or when you're not being Dave Davies of Dave Davies, is there something that you do that perhaps people wouldn't expect normally, knowing you as a performer and creator? And
well, there's not very much else left to do, really, after doing all that.
I'm not quite sure I agree with you there, but there's always ceramics and macrame.
I enjoy a good film, and I enjoy lots of things. I mean,
yes. Well, that's
you know. I don't get a lot of time. I enjoy working. When I'm not working, I like to work. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I think I like creating.
Yeah.
Procreating or something. I like
creating. Well, you can be a procreator too. I understand. That's a pretty sensible answer.
Yeah, I'm very involved with what I do. I like it very much.
Yes.
And when I'm not doing music, I'm listening to it or something to do with it.
Right.
And I enjoy what I do.
There'll be some other solo albums, I'm sure, huh? It's a nice idea.
I hope so.
It's refreshing, and it's renewing and everything else. And the new album is called Glamour.
That's right, Glamour.
That's Dave Davies solo. And the latest from the Kinks is on the road, isn't it? Or the one that's coming out right now?
Now, and it's called Give the People What They Want.
Give the people what they want. And inside is exactly that, a live person from a genie bottle. Give the people what they want. Truer words were never spoken. We'll be back with more. Will you stay? I want you to meet Ivan Reitman, and I know you like films.
Sure.
And heavy metal is the newest. We'll be right back after this word.
Back to Robert Klein.
We're back, and my next guest is a producer, director. His latest is a full-length, very unique animated film called Heavy Metal, with very heavy musical contributions from some heavies that you'll hear about, and whose music you hear. He also was a producer, a co-producer of Animal House, one of my favorites. Producer, director of Stripes, Meatballs. Welcome, Ivan Reitman. Thank you. Ivan, welcome.
It's fun to be here.
I hate to be self-serving, but is there a part for me in your next film?
Well, Robert, it really depends on how this goes today.
All right. And Davies, you might be a film actor, definitely.
Yes, I saw that picture. Very sexy.
Very sexy. The guy does.
Oh, you're not like him. Are you not going to come and sit over here, are you?
No. He's got a good face for the movies.
Oh, no, thanks very much. Very kind. Too.
Billy Murray was on the show a few weeks ago. He was hilarious. He was here about Stripes.
Yeah, he's much better at this sort of thing than I am.
Oh, no, you're welcome to hear. We'll only use about 30 seconds of what you're going to say anyway. Cause
that's what I figured.
You're a grown-up. You're a producer, director. No, we've had Peter Yates. We've had John Carpenter on the program, proven to be most entertaining and edifying. One of the things you evidently do is associate yourself with other very talented people. Belushi, Bill, others.
So maybe you.
Well, hey, I was just kidding about that. Really, I don't need to work. What script was that? I can be kooky. You know. Oh, yeah, that was Alan the Pussycats. On now at 4 in the morning after the Slim Whitman commercial. Have I told you lately that I love you? Davies, it says Slim Whitman, they advertise his records here late at night. Have you ever seen that American
I've
telly?
Seen him, yeah.
Well, they said he was most popular singer in England 4 years straight. What was that, 1896 to 1900?
No idea. He had to be popular somewhere.
Yes.
I don't know.
Perhaps Her Majesty Queen Victoria. I don't understand Slim. What is your secret favorite? Well, let's talk about the new work now. I have not seen screening yet. There was only one quickie, and I'm going to see it next week. But that's not necessary to talk about it. It's extremely visual anyway, but there's also some heavy stuff. Based on Heavy Metal magazine, isn't it?
Yeah, what happened, because I produced Animal House for the National Lampoon. They have this other magazine called Heavy Metal, which some of you may have seen. And it has this fantastic art, science fiction, fantasy art, and stories.
Let me hold it up to the mic, Ivan. You know, it's got that realistic, mean,
hot stuff,
lying hot stuff, yeah. Go ahead.
And we thought it would be a great idea to take some of those stories and combine them with some terrific music and animate them. Make them come to life.
Why aren't I on it? I invented heavy metal. I invented
This is the guy that invented...
I know.
Well, he has
Why didn't you ask me to play on it?
What happened? We were in a total panic looking for people to score the picture because I was very much concerned that it would be very hard to get enough rock groups to do it, that we were on a very short time schedule. So I involved myself with a man named Irving Azoff, who you may have heard of. He helped on a number of different rock albums and handles the Eagles and Steely Dan, and he helped put the groups together. And I guess something happened.
Hey, you got Donald Fagen doing...
I mean, Black Sabbath, they're English, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
And who else is it?
Nazareth.
They have Cheap Trick on the album.
And they're all bands that came out long after I invented heavy metal.
I think I'm in very big trouble.
Hey, come to think of it, Ivan, he's right. Wait a minute, what is this, abuse the guest time?
I'm going to stop the picture right now.
Reshoot the film.
Both of us are applying for jobs. Too late, huh?
But really, you on one hand, you hope the record, of course, does very well. It's a very exciting record. And at the same time, you want the movie to do as well as possible. And each complement each other.
It's different working, of course, with animated characters, although John Belushi is the closest thing to an animated character I've ever met.
One of the things I tried to...
Go back to your positions, and the cutouts go... No, that's a different thing entirely. Had you participated in the animation before?
No, this was the first time it just sort of was too good to pass up. And one of the things I tried to do in this film, I was pretty bored with most animated films that I'd seen in the last 20 years. Pinocchio...
Not Bambi, though.
No, Bambi, Pinocchio, Snow White, those are classics. Yeah. But they're really...
Do you have bears like Disney? Hey, I'm a bear. No?
No fuzzy bunnies or anything. It's mostly... What we did is we took animators from all over the world and had them do these really more adult stories and combined them with the music to make up this film. And I try to bring sort of an element of energy into the movie and the kind of comedy that one finds in Stripes or Animal House, and try to get that into animation as well. That was the idea. In an animated film, everything is created, and it takes hours and hours just to do 10 seconds. Mm-hmm. And so how do you develop the energy in that kind of thing? And as you could see, animated films have got a very bad name right now.
Don't you think it's a lot to do with the people that are making it, the motive force behind what they do? So when you look back at all the old sort of Walt Disney stuff,
I think you really put your fingers down.
When he was alive, Walt Disney films were amazing. There was a magic, there was an energy, there was a quality about what he did.
Well, that's
came
exactly
across,
right.
Which wasn't just visual.
After he died, his work definitely diminished.
Do you think so?
No question about it. No. He never showed up for work, you know. Absent, you know, the guy was day after day.
What I found with I'm sorry.
Ivan, go ahead, please.
No, what I have found with the animated films that have been done in the last 10 or 15 years is that animators made them. And, animators are real good at one thing, and that is to move bunny rabbits usually and other kinds of little things.
A bird hit a bunny with a hammer,
on a page, but they're not necessarily film directors or film producers or film writers. And it's because no one else was into animation, they would sort of work their way up and make an animated feature, which usually put the audiences to sleep. So this is an attempt at getting audiences back to animated films and getting really hot in them.
With a whole lot of other ones.
Are we talking about Stripes right now or Heavy Metal?
Well, actually both, because they're both released, having been summer releases.
Right.
What's the philosophy behind that? There are a lot of comedies out now, for example.
Well, summertime traditionally, along with the 2 weeks of Christmas.
It's very hot traditionally in the summer. I know that first.
And it's a hot time for movies because kids who make up the largest proportion of moviegoers are not in school, and what do? Amongst other things, they still go to the movies and get hot.
No question about it.
So if you have a film that could, that kids will like, the best time to have it is in the summer, because that's where you have the longest playing time. So that's the philosophy. Unfortunately, everyone has that good idea, and what suddenly happens is there's 7, 8 films that can open in one particular weekend. You can get really killed. Fortunately for us, we managed to it was Stripes, because we managed to stay in there very well.
Very well indeed. Very well indeed.
With Heavy Metal, that still remains to be seen.
Yes, we wish it the best. We'll be back in a moment with more. Just stay tuned. We'll be right with you.